right? So look, at the end of the day, losing yourself in sujood is something very special. Sujood is the way to get closest to Allah. Sujood is the way to get closest to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Remember, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to Rabi'a ibn Ka'b al-Aslami, who asked for, radiallahu anhu, the companionship of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Jannah. And the Prophet ﷺ said, "A'inni ala nafsika." Support me against yourself bi kathrat as-sujud, by increasing in your sujood, by increasing in your prostrations. Sujood is the greatest way to live, and it's the greatest way to die. The evidence of that is when the Prophet ﷺ told us about the man who dies in his sajda as a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's the greatest way to live, the greatest way to die. The masjid is named after your sujood. It literally means a place of sujood. The humiliation of shaitan was in his refusal to do sajda. But to who? To Adam alayhi salam. The humiliation of shaitan was in his refusal to do sajda to Adam alayhi salam by the command of Allah. So what then is the state of a person who refuses to do sajda to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It is a parallel to honor. Allah Azza wa Jal always gives us sujood as the thermometer, as the threshold by which we define honor and which we define humiliation. So he says, يَوْمَ يُكْشَفُ عَنْ سَاقٍ وَيُدْعَوْنَ إِلَى السُّجُودِ فَلَا يَسْتَطِيعُونَ. On that day, when Allah Azza wa Jal exposes the shin and calls them to sujood, and they're unable to make sujood, so their backs become straight, they will not be honored with being able to make sajda on the day of judgment. Why? Because كَانُوا يُدْعُونَ إِلَى السُّجُودِ وَهُمْ سَالِمُونَ. They were called to it in this life and they did not prostrate themselves. So imagine on the day of judgment, like think of the image when a person's trying and Allah Azza wa Jal makes their back straight. I'm not going to allow you to make sajda. So that's humiliation. Humiliation is actually standing straight. Honor on the day of judgment is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam entering into the conversation with his Lord, and ash-shafa'a al-uzma, the ultimate intercession, is when the Prophet ﷺ falls in sujood in front of his Lord and starts to praise Allah Azza wa Jal in a way that intercedes on behalf of us all. So that's honor versus humiliation. The Prophet ﷺ said that the sujood, that even if a person is cast into the fire, may Allah Azza wa Jal protect us from being cast into the fire, Allahumma ameen, that the place of sujood will not be consumed by the fire. Every other body part can be consumed by the fire except for the place of sujood. And he also said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that the place of sujood is a place where light emanates on the day of judgment. Humiliation versus honor.